Back live, Bristol Motor Speedway. Joey Logano in that 18 car is the leader. He has just put Danica Patrick in the 7 and Joe Nemechek in the 87 a lap down. They're running 23rd and 24th. Second time around here at Bristol for Danica. Started off a lot further ahead than where she started the last time. Talking to her crew chief Tony Uri Jr. yesterday.
Yeah, I spoke with her actually after her first practice, and she said she has felt more comfortable in giving information, and I think it's showing up. This is a difficult place. I mean, she's never raced on anything like this. You know, the one time that she was here last year, that was you know, a learning experience, but you just gotta. This is just such a different animal.
Second place driver Trevor Bayne there trying to find a way to the inside. And Kyle Busch trying to get that spot from Trevor Bayne while we watch from the back bumper. Jamie's got an update for us.
Well, Danica Patrick told me yesterday her first and only time here at Bristol, she really overdrove the corner. So yesterday in practice, she hung behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. and watched his line and learned a lot. So far, she hasn't said a word on the radio. It's been all spotter. Alan?
Okay, Jamie, thanks. Been very impressed with that 54 of Kyle Busch. Marching his way forward steadily, one car at a time.
Boy, something that he and Mike Beam with that race team sure do need right now, Andy.
They do. I spent a lot of time with Mike this morning, and you know, the thing is that Kyle knows what he wants in a race car, and this is one of these tracks I think it's a little easier for him to get that. We talked about, you know, some of these aero programs, engine programs. Some of that stuff is not as critical here as the handling, and Kyle knows exactly what he needs, and they feel like they've changed some things on the car suspension-wise that are giving it to him.
Kyle started back in 8th position. He's about to get second from Trevor Bayne. Move the 3-time defending winner here at Bristol up to the runner-up spot.
It's kind of interesting as everybody talked on our shows there this morning that we really didn't mention Kyle Busch just because of the struggles, but
some of us did.
Some of them, yeah.
6 of Stenhouse Jr. running 4th. Elliott Sadler in the 2-5th. Kevin Harvick in the 33 6th. Dave?
Teammates there racing very close, Alan. Sadler will hang on to that inside spot. They might make it 3 wide around there. Sadler's car earlier, remember, ran into the back of Joey Gase's car. I did check with crew chief Luke Lambert to make sure there was no problem. He gave me the A-OK sign. No damage to the 2 that they're concerned with.
All right, Dave, thanks.
Yeah, Harvick split the middle. I think Kevin Harvick has a really good car. I think he's just been sitting, kind of being very, very patient, not doing anything crazy, kind of letting the race come to him. I believe we'll see this 33 up front whenever it counts.
Harvick by Sadler into 5th place.
Had to do a lot of work on this 33 yesterday, though. He was not happy with this race car when they first unloaded and went through first in the most practice, making a lot of changes.
If anybody knows what he wants a car to feel like at Bristol, it's Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, very similar to the same thing I said about Kyle Busch. I mean, even if you unload and you're not right at a short track like this, when you have those kind of drivers in the seat, you still can get there. I mean, you just got to keep working on it, and he'll tell you when you get close and when you get there. It's like Kevin Harvick's got a little more of what he's looking for today.
5-time winner here at Bristol in the Nationwide Series. Kevin's only driven 1 Nationwide Series race so far this year. That was at Phoenix. He led the most laps in that one. Little strategy shuffle ended up costing him a chance at the win. A win that, ironically, his teammate Elliott Sadler in that 2 wound up taking in the 2nd race of the season. Joey Logano leads. Kevin Harvick is running in 5th. The all-time leading winner in the Nationwide Series here in Thunder Valley, and hoping to get up front and challenge for another. Reminder, the American Le Mans Series Mobile One 12 hours of Sebring. See coverage noon Eastern tomorrow on ABC, and then next weekend it's on to California. And for the NASCAR Nationwide Series, we'll have coverage of qualifying for you 1:30 Eastern next Saturday, and the race at 5 Eastern next Saturday. Note, qualifying's on ESPN2. The race is on ESPN. Longest green flag stretch ever to start a race at Bristol is this one. We're caution-free so far through 75 laps, and we have our second leader of the race, Kyle Busch, as Sam Hornish bounces off the wall in that 12, being put a lap down by Kyle Busch. As in most things Kyle does, his taking the lead from Joey Logano left us all going, wow.
See, this is going into turn 3. Looked like, I'm pretty sure Logano thought that he was okay on the bottom side as they came up on Mike Wallace also.
So Kyle chipping his way forward from his starting spot in the 8th position and becomes the second leader of this race. Last 3 races here at Bristol in the Nationwide Series, Kyle Busch led 71% of the laps. All of those in the Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas. Now he's driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports, a story we've been following all season long. So far, Jamie, today's working out the best of all of them.
It really is, and Mike Beam, crew chief, told me this is the best they've unloaded. They had yet to run up front until now. Mike Beam told me his biggest concern for this race is the pressure on his pit crew. They don't know how to perform under pressure together just yet, so that's something to watch for on this round of pit stops coming up. Alan?
I'll tell you, though, as a pit crew member, what gets you really up is have your car out front like this. Sometimes, it really does seem that your pit stops will be quicker, better when you have a car that's leading like this. You feel like you have to step up your game also as a pit crew member.
Yeah, but it's really an unknown so far because, they've been out early in some races. They haven't had to really step up. At Daytona, a lot of it was just 2 tires and things, or no tires, just getting fuel. So this big stage here today, so we'll see how they perform now that they have what looks like the best car out here.
Here's Joey Logano running in second now in the 18 car after starting on the pole. They've put a little bit of distance on a pretty good race for 3rd place. Trevor Bayne in the 60 and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 6. Story with this 60 team, of course, they were going to run the first 3 races of the season. And if they didn't have any sponsorship materialize, that was going to be it. On Monday, Mike Kelly, the crew chief for Stenhouse Jr. in the 6, who've been preparing all these cars for Trevor Bayne, got a call saying, come to work, 5 a.m. Tuesday morning. And they jumped on this 60 car, prepared cars for both here and for next weekend's race out in California.
Trevor Bayne right in the middle of the points battle for this, so it'd be a shame for them not to be ready and prepared. And you have to give it credit to all of that Nationwide team that they have and all of the employees to make all of this happen in a very timely fashion.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 5, Austin Dillon in the 3. Check that, that's Brian Scott in the 11, and Casey Kane in the 38. That's for 9th and 10th.
I'm surprised Casey Kane's not a little farther up. I expected him to be one of the early contenders here.
His car seems to be better now. He started this race off extremely loose. Just looked like he had no grip whatsoever and couldn't be very aggressive. And he lost quite a few of the spots that he's now taking back.
We've seen this 38 in this scrum back in the pack around 10th place for quite some time in this race, Doc.
Yeah, but he just can't go anywhere. And Dale Jarrett, you're exactly right. What Casey said was, guys, the front end was supposed to come to me in the first 20 laps, and right now the front end is terrible. Going in the corner, the front will not grip, and coming off, he can't hold the front end. So trying to work traffic in that situation, a driver's got his hands full. Right, DJ?
You got that right. Yeah, you just can't be aggressive and make the passes that you need. You got to be able to carry that momentum to make the passes. Even on lap cars, it makes it difficult.
So Casey Kane, after starting in 12th position, has only moved up to 9th in the opening now 90 laps of this race. Let's talk pit stops, Andy. We've gone green for a long time here. What's furthest they can run?
Yeah, they could go about 150s, maybe even 160 laps, but I talked to Mike Beam. He said that they would probably make a pit stop over, like now, if the caution comes out somewhere between 80 and 100 laps, they'd like to make a stop and look at these tires. Looks like the tires are holding up well, so we'll see how long they can go on.
Kevin Harvick up to 4th, Trevor Bayne back to 5th, all behind Kyle Busch. Out in front today at Bristol in his 54 car. Amidst the scenic hills of East Tennessee sits Thunder Valley, Bristol Motor Speedway, where Kyle Busch has been rumbling in his 54 car, charging up to the front from his starting spot back in row number 4 to take the lead before we hit the 1/3 mark of this race. It's the Ford EcoBoost 300 at Bristol, Tennessee for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Make sure you go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. 2 leaders, no caution flags. So far, Joey Logano led the first 67 laps. Kyle Busch has been out in front since lap 68. We saw Trevor Bayne a minute ago lose a spot to Kevin Harvick. Watch this contact between Bayne and the 24 car Benny Gordon.
One more lap, you watch it. Keep coming to the bottom. Still outside. Go out there. Keep coming. Come on.
And while we watch that, the caution flag is out for the first time in this race. Look at the damage on that 60 car.
Yeah, it's banged up pretty good, but his car really never lost any speed. I mean, it lost those spots and lost a little distance, but then it seemed to come back pretty well.
Caution came out for Joey Gase. You would see the right side of his car has some pretty significant damage. Watch the top of the screen.
Out of the groove. No grip up there.
No, it's almost like the right front tire could have possibly been going down a little bit there. I don't know that it's totally that it blew out, but it looked like it could have gotten a little soft right there.
Well, it could be that or maybe even the suspension part or something there caused that, but it did go pretty straight out of the groove.
Remember, with the 2 pit lanes here at Bristol, under caution to equalize the difference between the front stretch and back stretch pits, all the cars enter the pit lane off of turn number 2, go all the way down the back stretch pit lane, come around, go all the way down the front stretch pit lane before rejoining the racetrack. You see Kyle Busch there leading the field of pit road for the first time today. Vince?
For Brad Keselowski, he just wants more stability through the corner, so they're going to make an air pressure adjustment and go down 1 round on the track bar. 4 tires. Doc?
Trevor Bayne, free in, free off, tight in the middle. So once he got contact with a slower car, the entry was actually better. Half-pound air right front, track bar down in the rear, trying to help the entry. Jamie.
And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. saying he's too loose. They're going to take a spring rubber out in the right rear, track bar down. He's running hot about 260. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch in the 54 in the middle of your screen. Remember, pressure on this pit crew to perform. They'll take some wedge out. 4 tires, and they'll make an air pressure adjustment. Dave?
Early leader Joey Logano, his car has swung the entire spectrum, loose, tight, now just a little bit loose in the middle. He'll get 4 tires, wedge, and air pressure adjustment, and it looks like his pit crew picks him up.
Lead change there on the pit stops. Joey Logano is going to go back to the point, barely. But he will have Kyle Busch alongside him for the restart when we come back to Thunder Valley.